I'm Anne. Standing in the middle of my in-laws' house, surrounded by the entire family, I was seething with anger. My mother-in-law, Diana, had just ordered me to shop for ingredients, cook for 30 people, clean the house, and assist my father-in-law if he needed anything. This is impossible. I can't do it all on my own, I protested firmly. Diana snapped, "Stop making excuses and get on with it." I stood my ground. "No, I'm not doing it. I won't be treated like this." Her eyes widened with fury. "Don't you dare talk back to me. Just do what I say." I took a deep breath and calmly replied, "Fine, I'll stop being a wife then." Diana was shocked. "What are you talking about?" "I'm going to divorce Mark and leave him," I said, my voice steady. She shouted, "You think you can just do something so selfish? I won't allow it." I stood tall. "I don't need your approval. Divorce is between husband and wife." She was enraged. "Quit being a smartass. You really get on my nerves." I smirked. "Funny, I'm also getting annoyed by every word you say." Just then, my younger brother-in-law's wife, Lily, spoke up. "If you leave, and I'll leave, too." Diana spun around, taken aback. "What? You're leaving, too?" Lily said, "Well, if this keeps going on, I'll be next on the receiving end of her bullying, right? I need to get out of here before it's too late." I couldn't help but smile at her sharpness. As we argued, the rest of the family gathered around. My father-in-law, Richard, along with my brothers-in-law, including my husband Mark, had been there since early morning to help with the preparations. Richard asked, "What's going on here?" I explained, "My mother-in-law's been bullying me, and I can't stand it anymore. So, today, I'm quitting being a wife and leaving before she targets me again." Richard frowned and turned to Diana. "What did you do? You broke your promise." Diana muttered, "No." I was confused. "What promise?" Richard sighed deeply. "She promised not to bully her daughters-in-law anymore." "But, here we are." Mark interjected, clearly confused. "Dad?" Richard said softly, "I'm sorry, Anne. The real reason my eldest son and his wife left wasn't because of a job transfer. It was because your mother-in-law was mentally abusing her. She was bullying her." I nodded, starting to understand. "I get it now. That's why they haven't come up to any other events at your house." Richard continued, "When my eldest son found out his wife was being mistreated, he was furious and left with her. I scolded your mother-in-law for it. She begged me saying, 'I'm sorry. Please give me another chance,' and promised never to bully her daughters-in-law again. She asked me not to tell anyone about it." I was surprised. "Really?" He admitted, "I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. I didn't think she'd do it again." I reassured him, "It's not your fault, Father." Richard said, "And you should go home today with Mark. I'll make sure she handles everything for this gathering on her own." Diana's eyes widened in panic. "That's impossible," she cried. Richard said sternly, "Then you tried to force and into doing something impossible, didn't you? If you'd been kinder to your daughters-in-law, none of this would have happened. This is all your fault." Then he turned to me. "Now it's up to you what you want to do next, Anne. The decision is yours." "Thank you," I said, feeling a sense of relief. After a while, Mark spoke, his voice trembling. "And you're not really going to divorce me, are you?" I replied calmly but firmly, "I can't stay with you anymore, Mark. You never listen when I needed help with your mother." He stammered, "But, you want us to just cut ties with my mom and keep living together?" I shook my head, disappointed. "I'm done. I can't stay married to someone who doesn't care about me. I want a divorce." Mark whispered, "Oh, no," realizing how serious I was. That day, I packed up my things and left for my parents' house. My younger brother-in-law, Tom, who was devoted to his wife Lily, promised he'd rather leave their parents' house than face being abandoned by her. They left together. Diana had to prepare everything for the gathering on her own. She struggled but managed to cook for all the guests. Later, I learned that Richard confronted Diana with divorce papers that same day. He was determined to divorce her as she broke her promise. It seems he had already planned to make her cook for the gathering, even though he was ready to go through with the divorce. Now that Diana is gone, my older brother-in-law and his wife can return without worry. They just had a baby, and Richard is thrilled to finally meet his grandchild. As for me, I've gotten a divorce and started a new chapter in my life. My ex-husband Mark was hesitant to sign the papers at first, but when I mentioned the word lawyer, he finally agreed. It turns out Mark was the only one among the brothers who didn't care about his wife. And that's what led to the rift between him and his father and brothers. Both of his brothers value their wives' opinions, which is why they cut ties with him. Now Mark doesn't feel welcome at his parents' house, and honestly, he deserves it. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying my new job, living alone, and even dating a younger man. Life is looking up, and I'm savoring every moment. Let me take you back to how it all started. I'm a housewife, and I married Mark 2 years ago. When we first got married, I became a full-time housewife, and things were great. We were in love, and his family seemed nice. Diana, my mother-in-law, was kind to me at first. Whenever I visited, she would greet me warmly and say, "Welcome, Anne. Rest here." But as time went by, things started to change. Diana's attitude became harsh and critical. Instead of the warm welcome, it was more like, "You're late. Help me with the chores." She used to tell me to wait for a baby naturally, but now she would ask, "When will I get grandchildren? Is it you with the problem?" I couldn't understand why she had turned so cold. She started taking advantage of me, treating me like a servant. Every morning, she would call me on the phone and demand, "Get over here right now." I would explain that I had just seen Mark off to work and that it was my duty as his wife to make sure he left for work stress-free. But she wouldn't listen. "If you understand, come right over," she would say before hanging up. If I didn't pick up, she'd call repeatedly until I gave in. Once I was at her house, she would force me to do all the work. The worst part was that I was even expected to go there on weekends. Every weekend, I'd be pressured into doing housework at my in-laws' home. Mark didn't even know what was going on because Diana never spoke to me in front of him. My father-in-law, Richard, was often away on business trips, so it was just Diana and me. Mark's family consists of his parents and their 3 sons. Mark is the second son, and his brothers are married. My older brother-in-law and his wife used to live with his parents, but they moved out. At first, I was told it was because of a work transfer, but I later found out the real reason. The strangest thing was how nice Diana was to Lily, my younger brother-in-law's wife. On weekends, when Tom and Lily visited, Diana would greet her with the same warmth she had shown me when we first married. I kept asking myself, what's the difference between me and Lily? Have I done something wrong? The frustration built up inside me, and I couldn't take it anymore. So, I decided to talk to Mark. "Hey, your mom's been really awful to me lately," I said to him. He responded coldly, "What? Are you having a problem with her? Don't make a big deal out of it. I don't want any drama." I tried to continue, but his words only made things worse. "Honestly, you're expecting too much from her. You and my mom are strangers, so stop expecting anything from her." I was stunned. His attitude made it clear he didn't want to deal with the situation, and I felt deeply let down by his lack of support. At that point, I realized I couldn't count on him either. He had become distant, too. Then came New Year's. As usual, Richard and Diana hosted a big family gathering, and Diana had been pressuring me to attend. "You have to come. It's New Year's. It's family time," she would insist. But I kept refusing, citing that I had my own family obligations during the holiday. I had been obedient for so long, but now I was drawing a line, and she was growing more frustrated by my resistance. On the day of the gathering, Diana had a cruel punishment in store for me. This was the third time I'd attended a family gathering at their house. The first time, I helped my older brother-in-law's wife. Last year, I handled cleaning and shopping, but this time, she wanted me to do all the work for the event. And that's how we ended up in that heated argument, which led to the turning point in my life. I'm glad I stood up for myself, and now I'm looking forward to a brighter future.